Welcome! We are Specular Board Games where everything's made up and the points don't matter.
Wait a minute.
Wait, no, the points do matter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you, Drew Carey.
Drew, you'll get a check in the mail. You won't, because we don't know your address and we don't got money.
We don't get paid.
We don't get paid.
Give us money. Drew. This week we're doing Ginkgopolis. This is a 1 to 5 player tile laying, area majority, engine builder game. It was designed by Xavier Georges and the art is done by Gail Lenoren. I'm kind of butchered them, so sorry, but did my best. So in Ginkgopolis, you're going to play down a card and do one of 3 possible actions. Those actions can be exploiting, which basically you just play your card down and you will get an influence or a tile. Or you can activate one of the city tiles and get the resources based on the upgrade level that city is in. The other 2 possible actions from the cards are to urbanize, which is to place a new tile down on one of the numbered circles here that basically expands the city. Or you can construct, which basically upgrades the building by playing a tile on top of another one. There are some rules on that tile laying, which once you play, you can get into a little bit more of those details, but essentially you are trying to expand Ginkgopolis here. So the game will end once the tiles have run out twice, or one person has gotten all of their influence out onto the board here. At which point you will do final scoring, and that will be based on, obviously, what we talked about, the influence that is on the map here. Some of the cards in which you've built up your engine will give you victory points at the end of the game, and then any victory points that you've gotten throughout the game. And that's a basic overview of Ginkgopolis. It's what I consider a more advanced tile laying game.
Yeah.
Or maybe midway.
The rules aren't hard, it's the strategy that comes into it.
Yes.
Yeah. It's super deep.
It's probably that next level up from, say, Carcassonne.
Yeah, agreed.
This game, probably the first time each of us played it, absolutely loved it, and we're like, this is kind of in our top game. And I was like, I went out immediately and tried to find it.
Yeah, it's a game that I was skeptical on because the game has player shields, and I'm not a huge fan of player shields, and I usually think that shields are only for bidding games or auction games, and that's not my favorite mechanic. But this game is just strictly to hide what you have and hide your information, and it's really cool. I got lucky and got it in a trade. And we played it, and like Ryan said, I think for both of us, it's in our top 5. Top 5 for me, for sure.
Definitely my top 10.
Yeah, it's great. I think with the cool part of the game is, like Ryan said, you have cards to do your actions. The mind game with this, though, is you have 4 cards in your hand, and you pick one to play. At the end of the round, at the end of everyone playing one card, you pass those cards left in your hand to the next player.
Yep.
And the strategy in the game, the tough decision in the game is, do I want to play a card that will advance my game state, or do I want to play a card that wrecks the opponent's decisions, or like something they could do that would ruin what I'm trying to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It gives me that fun feeling, good feeling of that kind of hate draft that I like. We've talked about in one of our 2-player game podcast video where I was like, I'd love Bunny Kingdom 2-player because it becomes just a hate draft game, and it's so satisfying and fun, and you're just like, hey, fuck you. You can easily like just take a card just simply because you're like, ooh, I cannot allow this person to have this card.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun that way.
Totally. It's cool too with, like Ryan said in the rules, there's an engine building aspect of the game, which was surprising. So at the beginning of the game, you'll start with some scientists that you will lay out in front of you, and every time you take a specific action, either exploiting, urbanizing, or constructing, they will give you an additional bonus, like maybe they'll give you some more influence, maybe let you draw more tiles. And the more tiles that appear on the board, because they're all numbered, at the end of the draw deck running out, you add those new cards from those tiles into the deck.
Yeah.
And the higher the number of the tile is, the crazier the effects get.
Yes.
So later on, when you're building those buildings out, you add that to your engine, and some of them just give you 9 points at the end of the game.
Just straight up 9 points.
And so you're looking down at the board, you're like, well, Ryan put the 20 out. I know that 9-point card is somewhere in the deck then. Who's going to get it first?
Yeah.
It's great.
It is a lot of fun. Especially some of them too, like the engine for points is based on the influence of certain colors of the district. So yeah, trying to manage your way around that, create the districts, kind of cut someone off, or like a fun thing that I know has happened a couple of games is you'll have a district going and it's a pretty big district, but there's one that kind of connects the two bigger and you just change that color on the person. And you're just like, boom, now I have my own district and I just screwed you out of a bunch of points. And
exactly, because like the district points are a lot. Like you look at the district and whoever has the most influence in that district scores points for every influence token there. Every single one.
Yeah.
Second place only scores their own, and if you're playing with more than 2 people, no one else gets anything. So it's hardcore. And this game's great too. With Ryan said that you earn victory points during the game.
Yeah.
Those are also a resource.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Not a lot of games use victory points as a resource.
Right.
So like when you put a tile down, if the number you put down is lower on top of a tile and that number is lower than the tile beneath it, you have to pay that difference in points.
Yeah.
Which it becomes very strategic then. When do I put my big numbers down? When do I hold for later?
I really like that aspect in games where, it's kind of like weighing that option of, is this going to be beneficial to take that? Because I know I'm going to there's a lot bigger thing I'm going to come up and I'll definitely gain a lot more points if I don't do this. And I'm definitely willing to sacrifice some of those endgame victory points. And it's that planning and strategizing is a lot of fun.
It's really cool. The fact also that you draw tiles randomly and put them behind your shield, so you know what tiles you have, and you can stockpile a shitload of tiles.
Yes.
Like I think Ryan, we played one game where you had like 14 tiles behind your screen.
Tiles, yeah.
Which it's
my engine just allowed me to just
keep drawing tiles, and like I had the other engine where I was just constantly getting points for doing things, and the game when the tile stack runs out, you just put all the tiles back together that maybe, only way that they're going to put more tiles back together are the ones from behind our shields.
Yeah.
But there's a benefit to putting tiles back. For every tile you put back into the pool, you get points.
Yeah.
So it becomes how long do I want this game to go now? Do I think I'm far enough ahead that I can put one tile back or no tiles back and be good for a short, like another 5 turns I know I'm going to win? Or do I need some more long game and throw everything back to get a bunch more points to make the game last a bit longer?
And that's always, I felt a lot of times in the games too that you're like, there's a couple more turns that I want to take because I want to get some of this influence out and take control of this, but oh god, there's only so many tiles left. I only have a few influence, or I know you only have a few influence. No, I need these turns.
Yeah, exactly. I know the other thing about this game too is you've only played 2-player, right? Or have you played more than 2-player before?
I think I've only played 2-player. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Max, and then us 2.
Yeah, and then I played 3-player once, and it does go up to 5. However, just from my experience with 3-player, I think this plays absolutely the best at 2.
Okay.
Strictly because of what we mentioned earlier with the hate draft.
Yeah.
Where it's really hardcore because it becomes a direct back and forth of what cards you're getting. Whereas if you're playing with 3, 4, 5 players, your hand might go around and get back to you and nothing's the same. This way, I know there's 3 cards in the hand I'm giving to Ryan. Out of all 3 cards I'm giving him are cards that I want to play at some point, and they're probably cards that he wants to play. What am I going to get back?
Yeah.
And the cool part is, too, you can just totally fuck with them. Because you get 2 tiles also that let you discard your entire hand and draw a new hand up.
That's a mulligan one.
And usually we play that defensively. We don't play that because I can't play anything. We usually discard those because, these are all good for Ryan. He can't have any of these. And just discard and just dump everything out.
I know we usually start with the art, but let's get into that now.
Okay.
It's an interesting style. I am... I guess sci-fi or futuristic type art and theme I'm not a huge fan on. I think it has a very futuristic style buildings going on. I guess as an architect, I kind of look at it and I think it's a little weird. I don't see architecture ever being like that or soon, but so it's definitely, it has that sci-fi-esque that it's, I don't know, the combination of that plus where you're building up fields and stuff, it's a little odd. I think it's a little odd. It has a unique style of like the actual art itself is a bit unique. I like it. I like it. I'm not drawn to it as much as some of the other games that we reviewed that I've really loved. I probably prefer the themes on like more ancient medieval that era of style with that like
the overused Euro theme.
Yeah, I mean, I really love it. That's, I mean, I wanted to be an ancient medieval history professor. I love that era.
That makes sense.
Yeah, okay, it's interesting. I mean, the art is good.
Yeah,
I just
it's clear. I agree with you that the art is not the thing that draws you into this game. I think if you walked by a table at a game store and saw this getting played, it would draw you in. Yeah. Because it has it grows out, it grows up. There's pieces that are stacked on top of each other. It has a really cool table presence.
Yes.
And I mean, just looking at the box, you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I probably, if it's just like you're at a game store, right? It's sitting on the shelf there. I don't know that I'd probably end up passing it up by, unfortunately. Yeah. Which is a shame because it's such a fantastic tile laying game.
It's so good.
I love tile laying games, and this is probably one of my favorite tile laying, and then Carcassonne under it. As much as I love Carcassonne, I think this one's it's just more advanced now that I've played more games, right? I'm a little bit heavier board gamer, so more strategy in this tile laying I really like.
Yeah, and I'm with you too, because one of my favorite mechanics is multi-use cards. I've been getting super into card games lately, and I mean, this is pretty basic multi-use cards. I mean, it's just use it to get something, build something, or use it for your engine, but I think that's enough for what this game is. So I absolutely love that part. I'm not a huge tile placement game, but this game kind of knocks it out of the park. Oh, I forgot I mentioned too with the variability. I was just thinking about this because we were talking about cards. When you play with a certain player count, you also burn cards off the top of the draw deck before every round. So there's a chance the cards you want is just not going to show up.
Right.
And that can happen a lot. So you're waiting for a card to come out to try to like build over your opponent's area. Yeah. Not going to happen because you don't have the ability to do it because it's not going to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. And we really want to do this video now because there is going to be a reprint.
Yes.
At the end of 2020 here, possibly beginning of 2021. There's no official release date yet.
Right.
But if you come across it and you see the reprint, there's a pre-orders, whatever, I very highly recommend picking this up if you like tile laying, engine building, area majority.
Yeah.
This definitely would be a game for you.
100% agree. And if you're a person that already owns the game and you're someone who's like, oh no, I need to get the reprint now because of this, the only things that are changing are the box art and these tokens that you use to mark when a new building is built. That's all that's changing.
What, are they just doing something a little nicer, a little cooler?
I don't think they've actually officially said. They just only mentioned that this is changing and this is changing, and that's it.
I wonder if the box is going to get smaller because
it's a big box.
Because it is a very large box for kind of what it could be. I don't know, a third short, like 2/3 the size of this.
I agree.
You could put everything in.
Yeah. I think the other thing to mention too, it is Pearl Games that's reprinting it, and
yes, thank you.
Because this box is Z-Man, but they're not reprinting it. Pearl is. The other thing to mention too with it is I don't believe the Experts expansion is getting printed in the reprint. I don't know if there has been word yet. I don't think they've said if they're reprinting the expansion as well or not. If you can find the expansion and it's not an insane price, get it, because it adds in higher level buildings, it adds in more experts, it adds in some tiles that give you bonus effects. Yeah. It just adds more to the game in a way that perfectly implements it into the game. It doesn't feel like it's too much.
Like we say, it's an expansion that doesn't overbloat.
Yep.
It just builds on what's already there.
Yep.
It makes it more fun.
Yep. And doesn't have to fix anything. It's just there because the game's great. Let's add something cool into the game that's already good. Yep.
Yeah. We know you already love that engine building. Let's just add even more. Let's. What else can you do? Let's go crazy here, and yeah,
Totally.
Any other thoughts, Keegan?
Jeez, this game's so good. Like, even just having it on the table now, I'm like, you just want to play after we do this video really quick? It's great. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do. If you can find it now for not insane third-party prices, do it. Otherwise, just wait for the reprint. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be great. Definitely give it a try. It's so good.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. I know I need to get... I don't have the experts one. I need to find that. But yeah, some of the pricing that people are doing are...
It's a lot.
Just, yeah.
Do we want to give this a lightning bolt or a light bulb of approval? It's a big approval from us. It's so good.
This is on the shelf of top 10.
Yep.
Eventually, when I can get some more room of a top 10 shelf, it'll be on there.
Yeah. It'll be fun to do a top 10 video at some point too. Maybe that'll happen. Who knows?
Okay. Yeah, I think we've talked all we can about this.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks all for joining. Buy it. Put it in your collection. You need it. Until next time, we are Speculative Board Games. Keegan, where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram at FoxBoxGames with box spelled BOCKS because BOX is taken.
The whole string. And I'm Ryan. You can find me at ryan.gebi, Gebi. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Game over.
Got your food, Ryan.
Max, did you like Ginkgopolis?
It's alright.